Okay, I'm back. I got the groceries put away. Great. Just long 10, so we got 9 more, 8. Anyway, I put away the groceries and I found a page I wanted to color. Well, actually, I found it earlier and I went and got the book. And I'm just going to color away and ask some questions. And these are all like Thanksgiving related questions. And it's no big deal if you don't want to answer, but it's fun to guess if you don't know, and it's fun to say the answer if you do know. So don't worry about ruining it for everybody, because it's 10 o'clock my time, so it is 1 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, and a lot of people won't even see this until the morning, so I'm not real worried about it. I know it's late. I just got out of the shower. I wanted to be ready to lay down after I'm done doing this. So this is that. I don't know if I used this book yesterday or not, but Merry Christmas with the gingerbread snowman here, and large print for adults. That's me. Okay, I'm gonna start coloring and put you up on a stand so you can watch without me holding. Okay, that's better. I can use both hands. So I'm gonna ask questions while I color. I already did the stars, so the stars are gonna be yellow. And sometimes I use, these are blender something. Blender pencils, maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, you can tell I've been blending and I've got a bunch of these. They've got color. So some of these pencils are chalkier than others because there's different types in the box that I have here. And so when they're kind of chalky, they don't look right. So I just take the blender and I kind of mess like this. So I've said this before, but maybe somebody doesn't know. Okay, I think I'm only going to use yellow, green, blue, and, well, 2 greens, a blue, a red, and a yellow. So that's it for this. I tried to find something simple so I could just get it done. And you guys would be free to move about the cabin and go back to your business. All right, so I'm going to ask questions. Hold on a minute. Let me go find out what the first question was. Okay, so what are the top 3? The Butterball hotline? So people who can call, even if you don't have a Butterball turkey, you can call and you can ask questions. They're like tech support for the cook. And I hear that there are people who have been calling just to say hello for years and years and years. Like they predate calling this hotline. They predate the internet. They just would call the 1-800 number and say, well, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, my family's all moved away, and they would like talk to them and be nice. I heard that one time on a talk show. Anyway, what are the top 3 questions that they get, do you think? I thought it was kind of basic. So let's see. I was going to get my drink, but I forgot to bring it in from the other room, and I don't care anymore. How's that sound? So I thought I'd make this ribbon red, and I'm just going to highlight some of the things. Okay, so I'll start and tell you the first question they get is, how long does it take to thaw my turkey? So when should I take it out of my freezer to thaw it? So we're going to go with a 16-pound turkey here. That's average, I guess, from what I read. So a 16-pound turkey is going to take 4 days in your refrigerator. There are some rookie mistakes you should think about here. That little turkey is in his wrapper and he's all secure and there's no juices and he's perfect. Don't just set him in your computer because he's going to lay in there and hemorrhage all over the place. So if you've never done this before, you want to put him in a container like a large mixing bowl or the baking dish you're going to use, and slide the whole thing into your refrigerator from the freezer. So when he does lose his juices, you'll be able to catch those with something besides the bottom of your refrigerator. You don't want to have to clean that up, I have done that. I've done it with more than just turkey, I'll tell you what. Yep. Okay, second one that they asked, because there's 3 top questions, was, how do I cook my turkey? And so they tell people, the temperature it needs to be. I don't remember what it was. I think it's 165, but I'm guessing. I look every year. Actually, I just stick my meat. I've got one of those battery-operated prong things I poke it with. I'm not cooking it this year, though. My guys are doing an infrared thing out in the yard. So that's going to be great if it turns out. Otherwise, we'll have Pizza Hut. So, oops, don't look at my notes. How do I know my turkey's done? Again, you're going to take its temperature, and don't rely on just how it looks, because that can be deceiving, because that's a big amount of bird. Say, average 16 pounds. You're going to have a whole lot of innards to cook. Also, just to let you know, if you've never bought and cooked a turkey before, you want to get the neck, if it's a whole turkey. Inside that thing is going to be a liver, a gizzard, a heart, and a neck. Did I get them all? I think so. Yeah. So you want to get those things out. Those they're not pleasant when you bake them for several hours. The way that my mama made her stuffing, and I made my stuffing the same way for years and years and years, was I cooked them by boiling them in water, the gizzard, the liver, the heart, the neck, with some celery and onion and salt and pepper and a whole lot of butter. My mom was like, who is that? Oh my word, she lives in Georgia, somebody in Sons. I can't think of her name, that's ridiculous. Anyway, she likes butter too. She's a butter lover. So anyway, I put like a pound of butter in that water, and I would boil those gizzard, the innards, let's just call them the innards. I would boil the innards for an hour and a half maybe. So then I would use the water for my broth for my stuffing, and I would use the meat for my stuffing. So I would cut very tiny the heart, the liver, the gizzard, and I'll pull the meat out of the bones of the neck, because there's not a lot, but it is good meat on the neck. I'd rather have neck meat than liver and gizzard, I'll tell you that, or heart. I have one kid who always requests that I let him eat the heart. He's into that. Anyway, I wanted to tell you something else about that. What was it? Shoot. Oh, I had a good friend back in the day. We raised our older kids together. The kids that we raised are in their 40s now. And she's passed away. She got Parkinson's, and she passed away. It was so sad. We'd been friends since we were teenagers. And our husbands, he's my ex-husband now, were roommates. And we met in Vacaville, California. Anyway, they weren't our husbands when we met, obviously. She was 19 and I was younger. So, I was telling her how to make stuffing. And so she calls me and she goes, okay, I did it. Now, what do I use for broth? And she said, I drained them. I said, you drained them. Did you keep the broth? And she said, I was supposed to keep it anyway. She had put it down the sink. It was a sad, sad thing. That must have been 30 years ago. Sorry, guys. Residual of that cold. So that's it for that one. Now the second question is, how many people on average watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? And you want to think astronomical numbers. Because people just alone in New York City are going to be more than probably in your thinking. I liked the parade back in the day. When I was a kid, it was something to see. And now it seems like it's nothing but, the latest pop singers and the Broadway shows. And maybe most people like that, but I'd rather just see the floats and Santa and fun things like that than the other stuff. How do you feel about that parade? Do you even watch it? So, 23.6 million people watch it on Thanksgiving Day. What's the most widely used superstition on Thanksgiving? How about them apples? A superstition that a lot of people will use, will play around with. A superstition is something, like Step on a crack, break your mother's back. That's terrible. I was trying to think. Oh, you break a mirror and you get 7 years bad luck. Sorry about that, not 4. I was cutting you some slack. Don't break any mirrors. I fell backward into a mirror that I had leaned up against the bedroom wall one time. It wasn't bad, thank goodness. I think they had made it out of some kind of safety something because it didn't break into shards and it didn't seem as glassy as it could have been. I think my husband thought I was a goner. Okay, so the superstition is to break the wishbone in half. Did you do that when you were a kid or have your kids do it? Each kid grabs a half of the wishbone and they pull on it, and the one with the longest half gets his wish. Which is awesome if you have 2 kids. But if you've got 3, somebody's going to have a fit. All right, what's the leading cause of injuries on Thanksgiving? Do you know that one? The leading cause of injuries. So I've had my share of injuries on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on 4th of July. I think my worst injury was a Halloween injury, and it was a bad burn, and it was a candy apple, not a caramel apple. I'm talking the hot stuff. That puppy was hot. I pulled it, put it in the pan. I did like this, like you do. I went like this, and I didn't have a good enough grip on it, and it slapped back on my hand. I actually had to go to burn treatment for, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks, maybe. I know I quit before they were done with me. I was really young then. I was maybe 22. And that doesn't mean I don't have injuries now. So the biggest kitchen injuries, the most common kitchen injuries on Thanksgiving are burns from fires. And you know what? I bet that's ramped up since people deep fat fry their turkey. Kids are walking around out there at 10:15 at night. Anyway, don't look. So we have triple the fires in the house or in the family than we do on any other day. How many cranberries, roughly, in a pound of cranberries do you suppose there are? I would have guessed a much higher number because they feel like they're so buoyant, and they are, that I just couldn't imagine. So I guess when you buy them in a package from the store, I have 3 in my refrigerator right now that I'm going to make sauce out of tomorrow. Not sauce, but, cranberries. Anyway, there's roughly, hold on, darn cough. I'm going to get my drink and come right back. The 440, roughly 440 cranberries in a pound. I'm going to ask you this, turn you off, go get my drink, come back, turn you back on. What state produces the most cranberries in our country? Which state? Hi, I'm back, and you know what? When I got up, I bumped the camera with my foot getting off I'm on a kitchen bench here next to the table. Anyway, so you're kind of maybe in a different wonky angle, I don't know. Before I started up, I went ahead and did some of the blending on the red ribbon. I just think it makes it look better. So I think I asked you, in what state of the United States are the most cranberries produced, grown for, the market and for everything? Just where are the most grown? Anyway, I was surprised. I would have said Massachusetts, somewhere where there's like bogs and stuff. I don't know that Massachusetts has bogs, but anyway, it's Wisconsin. We actually have cranberries here in Washington State too, which is odd. And so the place where they grow them is out by the ocean, not in the ocean, but near where closer to the coast is what I'm trying to say. And I guess they make a lot. So I have another question. The Butterball company that makes the Butterball turkeys and the Butterball helpline, in what decade did Butterball become a company? I was surprised there too. So, I've not always used Butterball. I've used a lot of times what's free, because here, the last, I don't know, 25 years, maybe more, if you bought a certain amount in groceries, you got a free turkey, and that was how I always got my turkey. Turkey. So, did I ask you? Yeah, what decade was that? What do you think it was? I thought it was a long time ago. A long time ago. It was in the 50s. To be precise, it was 1954. 70 years ago, right? Yeah, 70 years ago. Here's another one. What is, and these questions can be disputed easily by going and finding another opinion on the same internet that I use. So don't come at me, brah. I'm telling you what, I found these somewhere and I wrote them down. What's the least favorite Thanksgiving dessert? What did they say? Least favorite dessert? Surely you jest. Anyway, what is my least favorite dessert of all time? When I was a kid, I didn't like German chocolate cake because I was convinced I didn't care for coconut. And there was coconut in the German chocolate cake frosting. Trying to think. I also didn't think I liked cherry pie. I was a finicky eater. I ate enough, but I was finicky about what I would eat. Look at me now. Anywho, do you have a least favorite dessert? I'm sure there are others I'm not thinking of, I think that you will be surprised when I tell you what it is. I'm going to give you just another couple of seconds here. I feel bad because it's one of my favorite desserts. Banana cream pudding pie. So we have had banana cream pudding pie at Thanksgiving, and it's typically when we have a large group eating, large group of people going to eat together, because we put out, enough so that everybody gets enough and they can take some leftovers and all that kind of stuff. Typically, though, when I think of it as for sure as an Easter kind of, dessert, a spring dessert. And I don't know why. Bananas grow in the tropics. I don't know where I got that it's a spring dessert. Oh, I know what I don't like. I still don't. Anything meringue. Lemon meringue, meringue. It's because eggs mess with my belly. And I suffer if I eat it. So I love lemon pie, but just not lemon meringue. So can you believe that? Isn't that weird? I think it's weird. Anyway, what's the least favorite main course served alongside turkey? So you got some big family coming over. You're going to make a turkey and you're going to make something else. What would be the least? Oh my goodness, the least favorite thing, to serve besides the turkey. This one made me laugh. Not because it was funny, but because it was the way it was worded in the description. So let's see what else I got to say. I've had some dry turkeys over my years. I guess if you cook long enough. One year when I was about 6 years old, or maybe 5, we were living in, I can never remember if it's Glen Ellen or Glenview, Illinois, suburb of Chicago. And my dad worked for the Navy, maybe, I'm not sure, but it had to do with the Navy, I think. But he wasn't in the Navy. I know it was computers, but I don't know in what capacity all of this was. Okay, so anyway, my mom went to do her turkey, And she stuffed it like she, you know, had seen everyone do it. At that time, she was still young too. She would have been 26 maybe. No, younger than that, 24 maybe. And so she stuffed that turkey and she got all of that stuffing in there because she didn't know she could bake some on the side. So she pushed it in as much and as full as she could. And so we had dinner at midnight because that turkey didn't cook for that long. So if you use stuffing inside the cavity of your bird, I never do anymore. I just stuff onions and celery in there and call her good. It cooks faster. It's just as good to cook it in a casserole, your stuffing, if you make it. So anyway, she's always made sure I knew that. You know, her mama passed away when she was 14. So she didn't get a lot of extra help, you know, learning things, sewing, cooking, and that kind of. It's kind of a learning curve for her. Let's see. You ready? The least favorite main course served on Thanksgiving, with or without turkey, is, drum roll, spiral ham. It goes on to say, like showing up to someone else's wedding in a white dress. I thought that was hilarious. So this is not your show, Spiral Ham. Your show is Christmas or Easter. Do you make a ham at Christmas or Easter? Assuming you even eat meat or ham. Okay. Now then. Was the first baby, pilgrim baby, a boy or a girl? So, probably if it was a girl, they didn't mention her name. Just saying. That was often the case, you know. They didn't matter as much as the males. This baby was also the last surviving pilgrim. I mean, first generation, you came, you know, by boat. Of course, there are people still today being born related to the first families from the white people that came aboard the Americas. Okay, that baby was a baby boy. So, some people think that the first baby boy was Oceanus, but Oceanus was born at sea. So he wasn't born. We're talking the first baby after they landed. The second baby, he wasn't the second, he was the first. So the first baby was not Oceanus. He was born at sea before they landed. This baby was born while they were at port. It was cold, winter, and they had stayed on the boat. Mostly, you know, for sleep and for rest and for that kind of thing. And while they tried to build up a village, I guess, or something. Anywho, I didn't write down that baby's name because I could not pronounce it. It was something fierce. I couldn't tell you what it was. You'll have to look that one up. All right, the next question is, what's the most fattening or calorie-dense dish? Actually, two. There are two. The most fattening or calorie-dense, and so anything that you typically would eat on Thanksgiving, and you know, not everybody's going to eat what you would typically eat on Thanksgiving, so maybe it was what somebody else might eat. And so you can chew on that for a few minutes. Okay. You can hear my dishwasher going, maybe, and you can hear my washing machine. I've got to hit the ground running tomorrow. I've got, oh my word, I wrote down some notes. Tomorrow I've got to bake, no, I'm not going to bake pies. I bought them. You saw those in my haul, or I told you about them, I think. I'm not going to bake pies. I'm going to boil eggs for deviled eggs. I'm going to pre-chop veggies for my stuffing, and that would be not just veggies, but it'd be onion, celery, nuts, apple. What do you put in your stuffing, assuming you make it and you put stuff in it? You know, I think stovetop stuffing in a box is every bit as delicious, but I still like to add little things to it. I also like to add mushrooms. I know that's controversial. Oh, what did you have for dinner tonight? I finally got around to being well enough to I threw some fish in the oven, like Mrs. Gorton's cod fillet or something. I don't know what they are. You know, they're the breaded ones. And I got some hamburger buns out and some tartar sauce and some cheese. And we had those McFishwiches. What do you call those? Filet of fish. That's what you call them. And I also put fries in. And there's 2 of the filet of fish left and a handful of fries because they stayed up there on the oven. And the guys are all home tonight. Even the one that doesn't live here. I don't know what he's doing here, but he's out there with his daddy. And he's, you know, an extra here. Let's see. What else was it? I'll just tell you the answer to this. Let's get that done. The most fattening calorie-dense dishes, there are 2. The first one, sweet potato casserole, which I do not make. I just make sweet potatoes baked. My mother makes sweet potato casserole. Okay, sweet potato casserole, 1 serving averages, and that's depending on your cook and what they use, 460 calories for a serving. 460. Okay, the second one, yeah, baby, you and me we're like this now. Pecan pie, my favorite. 1 serving, 400 to 500 calories. And you know, there's a lot of ways you can make a pecan pie. They can be the store-bought, where they're kind of thin and not as many nuts and not as good a stuff. Or they can be, my recipe has like probably extra eggs, extra pecans, extra butter. If it can take it, I'm putting it in there. And it's probably going to be a big 10-inch. You know what I mean? So slices are going to be bigger. Are you looking at my notes again? Shame on you. Now then. Leftover turkey. How many days will leftover turkey last in your refrigerator? And this is your last question. You want to tell me that? How many days do you think leftover turkey lasts in your refrigerator? You get a helpline on this one. You can call Butterball Helpline. I'm sure they answer that. I think they stay open from like now until Christmas because people, you know, make cookies. Where did that come from? People make turkey for their, you know, holiday dinners, and not everybody's holidays fall on the same day, you know, or the same holiday. Am I even making sense tonight? I'm not going to finish this in time, so what I'm going to have to do is, when I'm done here, I'm going to close and tell you bye, and then I'm going to come back and show you at the very end the finished Christmas stocking. Anyway, I will tell you how much. How many you guess? How many days can you keep it? And this is assuming you have it wrapped, you have a refrigerator that's not overpacked, and it's at the correct temperature that a refrigerator, don't ask me what that is, for 3 to 4 days. 3 to 4 days. So if you've got a whole bunch, it might be a good idea to throw some in the freezer, and then you can use it, you know, later. What we use leftover turkey for in the initial days is just leftover until the sides are gone too. And then we make like open-faced turkey sandwiches where you just take a slice of white bread and a plop of mashed potatoes, put some turkey in the mashed potatoes, and you cover the whole thing, bread and all, with gravy. That's some good eating right there. So that's what we do with it. But we will also store some away if we have quite a bit in the freezer, and I'll use it to make I use it to make soups and turkey pot pie. Oh my word. See, here's the deal. If I take a Sudafed, I'm all kinds of productive, but I don't go to sleep. So I'll be up all night. If I don't take a Sudafed, I can't lay down flat because of this postnasal stuff. Drip, drip. And it's making me cough. And it'll make me cough until I'm sick, you know? Makes me sick, I mean. So anyway, I would love for you guys to make comments on this one. There are plenty of opportunities to make a comment. If you've never done that before, here's your chance. And I can get to know you. And I'd like to know what you're having. If you celebrate at all, what you're having for your dinner. Have you got everything gathered? I still need to make a few things ahead, like I said, and clear off my entire, I call it a bar. It's not a bar. It's like the side counter. I need to put all of the dishes that I'm going to use for each thing out, so I'm not in a panic at the end saying, I don't have, where's my, I want it to go smooth because it's all about relaxation for me. It really is. My husband works out of the area for a living, so when he's home, if it's a holiday, it's even more special, for me to be able to mingle with the family and stuff. Unless he's out in the yard like he is right now. Okay, I'm going to have to come back because I don't want to keep you guys. Thank you for watching all this time, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I wish you a happy holiday meal, or just a happy meal if you don't call it a holiday, a Friendsgiving, a Thanksgiving. Take care, everybody. If you've not subscribed, please do so. I love it. Bye.